Hello there, students. Thank you for being part of this presentation. Today we're looking at U.S. Government, Unit 1, Foundations of U.S. Democracy, and we're focusing on the tutorial for the development of U.S. democracy. This is page 1 of the tutorial that you will be reviewing. Please remember to have a notebook besides you so that you are able to take notes as you are reviewing this material. And remember, you can always go back to the tutorial and the information provided to you so that you can better understand the content. The objective for this tutorial is that you will investigate the development of democracy in the United States. Now let's move on. This is page 7 of the development of U.S. democracy, and right here you are going to be reviewing everything that's in this box here about the ancient Athenians, the ancient Romans, and the United States. What you need to do is you need to see the similarities and differences between the three countries, and you need to explain what's going on here. So it's asking you review the table which shows the requirement of citizenship for ancient Athens, ancient Rome, and the modern United States. How has the idea of citizenship changed throughout history? You will be able to get all of the information right here. Make sure you provide a very good paragraph. And when I say a very good paragraph, I mean at least 5 solid sentences. This is page 10 of the development of U.S. democracy, and this is your lesson activity. And it's government through the Middle Ages. Let's go over the directions, and I will explain to you what we need to see here. The directions: read the instruction for this self-check activity, type in your response to each question, and check your answers. At the end of the activity, write a brief evaluation of your work. Activity: the Magna Carta is a medieval English document that restrained the powers of the king. It was the first document in which explicit rights of the individual were granted and guaranteed in writing. Read this knowledge article. Please make sure that you go to this link and make sure you click on it, and you'll get a whole bunch of information about the Magna Carta. Taking notes as you read and then answer the questions that follow. Be sure to include details from the text in your response. So part A is asking, according to the article, how did the Magna Carta restrict the powers of the king? What benefits did the nobles receive from restricting the king in this case? Remember that the Magna Carta was passed because the king was going beyond what was expected from him in a bad way up to a certain degree. So the nobles, the wealthy people said, no, we have to stop this guy. And they wrote the Magna Carta and had the king sign the Magna Carta agreeing to what they were asking from him. So make sure that you go over once again the knowledge article, and you will find a whole bunch of responses. Make sure that you use quotes from the reading. Make sure that you're using the material that you're reading in order to back up your responses here. Part B, which part of the English society was completely exempted from restrictions under the Magna Carta? Make sure, once again, that you are closely reading, in this case, the article that was given to you, and you need to be able to answer this question here. We need, obviously, at least a good paragraph here. Part C, which powers were left to the king? What was important about the powers that remained with the king? I can tell you that one of the powers that the king retained was the power to tax, but you need to be able to go back to the document and use quotes in order to back up your responses. Part D, explain how Clause 39 of the Magna Carta was influential to the American Revolution. So why, in this case, is Clause 39 of the Magna Carta important to the United States Revolution? And I can tell you that this particular clause outlined the individual rights of citizens. And this was really important. As you remember, we have a Bill of Rights, which basically outlines a whole bunch of rights that are given or have been given to each citizen of the United States. Please make sure that you are, in this case, answering everything with details. Don't just give me 1 sentence or 2 sentences. You need to provide a good solid paragraph for each response. This way, you let your teacher know that you are fully comprehending the content that's being given to you. Now let's move on. This is page 19 of the Development of U.S. Democracy tutorial, and here you also have another activity. And in this activity, it's about the Enlightenment. Let's read the directions so you know exactly what to do. And again, it's about the Enlightenment. Directions. Read the instruction for this self-check activity, type in response to each question, and check your answers. Activity. Research the position of Thomas Hobbes, John Locke on social theory. Once you have finished analyzing the sources in your notes, write a short 2 to 3 paragraph reflective essay comparing and contrasting the social contract theories of the two philosophers. Be sure to include specific examples from the lesson and the outside sources. Please make sure, again, that you are paying close attention throughout the tutorial and taking notes. And on top of that, you need to go and read the article about Thomas Hobbes and John Locke, and make sure that you are able to compare each of them. What did John Locke think about government? What did Thomas Hobbes think about government? How did each of them think that government should function? What rights should people have? All of that information, you will find it when you click on this, on each of the names in this case, and make sure that you are taking notes so that you are able to put together your responses. Please make sure you do at least 2 paragraphs, and I highly encourage you to do the 3 paragraph that you're being asked to write here. Now let's continue to move on to the other or the next activity. We are now on page 22 of the Development of U.S. Democracy tutorial, and right here you have to write a comprehensive response about what you're being asked to do. And let's read what we want here. How did mercantilism increase the likelihood of conflicts between European powers? First of all, you need to define what mercantilism is, and you should have seen this before in the previous slides of this tutorial. So you define what it is. Once you define what it is, you explain why do you think this philosophy or this idea may actually bring European powers or nations or countries into having difficulties, conflicts between each other, and be able to explain that in, again, at least a good solid paragraph. And you know, your teacher will be basically proud of you because he or she will see that you are on top of things, you are comprehending the content. Please make sure you put your best effort. This is the last activity that you need to be working on, but please make sure you continue reviewing the content as you move on through this tutorial, because we have all the way up to 28 pages, and this is barely page 22. This will help you also when you're putting together your unit activity, because you're gaining all of this valuable knowledge. You have a good one.